got some really good players. Got the returning Region 2 Defensive Player of the Year and Kyle Kitchens coming back. And, you know, so it should be a great challenge. It should be a fun way to start the season. We're ready to play somebody else and see where we stand. We've had a long fall camp, very physical fall camp. And, you know, like everybody across the nation this time of year, ready to play somebody else. I'm looking forward to seeing our guys play and really hope we have a big crowd. You know, that's what we're pushing for, to try to get 10,000 people in this stadium and fill it up this year, and hopefully it's going to happen game one. And with that, I'll open it up.
Coach, I see that you guys have 44 transfer players along with 7 freshmen.
Yep.
How big of a challenge did you find that, you know, coaching guys into your system?
Yeah, not really at all. You know, that's Division II football. We actually don't have the most transfers in our conference. You know, that's just that's the way the rules are set up. You know, if a guy's going to leave a Division I school that's really talented, he can't go to another Division I school without sitting out. So he can come Division II and be eligible. So most of those guys are from the state of Georgia. We've got over 40 players on our roster that are a sophomore or younger that played high school football in the state of Georgia. So we feel like we've got a firm foundation. We recruit the state of Georgia harder than anybody in the country for high school kids, and then we recruit the whole world for transfers. And that's been our recruiting plan the whole time. I think if you don't look at transfers and evaluate them at this level, I don't think you're taking full advantage of the rules that the NCAA puts in place. It's my job to try to build a talented roster that also wants to be at West Georgia and are good people that will represent this university and this community in a positive way. I feel like we've done that. I'm excited about our team.
Go ahead.
In the event of this, you know, this first game, Catawba, you know, in the event that the game gets out of hand, you guys get a very big lead. Is there a chance we can see any of the new young quarterbacks?
Well, you know, I mean, if we're fortunate enough to be in that situation, you know, I think Willie Candler's had a phenomenal off-season, spring practice and summer. He's had a great fall camp. We think the future's very bright with him. He's definitely the quarterback of the future here, and I think he'll play at some point in this game, no matter what the score is.
Got quarterback Will Gardner in. Talk about his characteristics from spring to fall and what you like in particular.
Well, starting off, he's just a phenomenal human being. You know, we've got a group of unit leaders, and one day we got to talking about, you know, people that have made impacts on our program, and that group of players just, you know, was almost gushing about him and his impact. The way he came in, he's so humble, just a first-class human being. On and off the field, he's already a graduate. But as a player, he's extremely talented. You know, got a chance to continue playing football when he's done here. Very strong arm, high football IQ. You're talking about a guy that's been coached by Sean Watson, then Bobby Petrino, and now coming here. He's been a part of 3 NFL-type schemes, and you know, we're glad we got him, and he's glad to be here.
Talk about your receiving corps, something that you don't hear a lot, that we haven't talked about a lot in preseason, especially with Quay Walker coming back, number 2 in the nation, and in yards per catch. Seem to be very explosive. Talk about that.
Yeah, we're excited to have Quay back. Quay joined us in the fall last year and really progressed as the season went on. Made a lot of big plays. We think he's gotten much stronger over the offseason, gained some weight. Coach Curtis has done a phenomenal job with him in the weight room. We think he's become a more well-rounded receiver, more physical blocker, able to do more. Basically, he was a go route and a post route guy last year. He's added a lot more to his arsenal. So he's kind of the bell cow of the group. And then we've got Jane Jones coming back, who had a really solid junior year playing behind you know, some good players in front of him. I think he will have a great senior year. And then DJ Ezel returns. DJ's steady as a rock, man. Great player, can play all positions. Very physical guy, good hands. You know, he's a true wolf on and off the field. And then KJ Palmer has really come on, young man from Archer High School. Great program there with Coach Dyer, who's a West Georgia guy. I think KJ's going to bring a lot to the table. And then we brought in a guy named Nico Carter, a junior college transfer, who's extremely talented, who also has a lot of upside. So I think we'll be good at receiver.
Coach, what players stood out to you the most in these recent weeks of fall camp?
Well, you know, Alex Arma always stands out. He's just a guy that just does everything right all the time, and is just a natural football player no matter what he's doing. Dylan Donahue always stands out. He's a guy whose motor runs constantly. LaMarcus Franks had a great fall camp. He's entering his senior year healthy. LaMarcus is a young man that was hurt for most of the early part of last year with a hamstring, which can be nagging for a guy that relies on his speed and cutting ability like he does. And he's really healthy going into game one. I think he's going to have a great senior year. I think Brandon Walton stepped his game up a lot. Quentin Stanford's a young guy on the offensive line that's really come on in the last few days. Cordero Stout's a young D lineman that's really coming on. And Chris Hawthorne at linebacker is a guy that I think's got a chance to be a really, really good football player and a difference maker for us. So off the top of my head, we've had a long fall camp. We've practiced over 24 times. Been very physical. We've put a lot of guys in situations to see what they can do. So I guess, but those guys consistently, are guys when you cut the film on, you see them and notice them.
When you're looking at this weekend playing Catawba, number 22, SAC champions last year, what do you see as the biggest key to this game coming up?
Well, handling, number one, just handling that first game emotion that comes with that. Everybody's going to be fired up. They're going to be wanting to play game one. There's going to be a lot of emotions running, handling that and keeping your head about you and playing the game the way it's supposed to be played. And, the turnovers are always big in big games. This is two ranked opponents, two defending conference champions, two defending playoff appearance teams. So turnovers and explosive plays will be big as well.
Can you name the strength of your team, like any position group?
Of Catawba?
No, of your team.
Of our team? Man, this is year 3 of our program. Obviously, we've got a lot of starters back on defense, off a really good defense. I would say the defensive line has got a chance to be as strong as any unit, within this league. I think they do a great job. We got great leadership, great returners right there. But, going into year 3, we've had 3 chances to recruit here now. So if we've got any holes or weaknesses, that's my fault as the head coach. You get a chance to recruit for 3 years. If you can't fix problems over a 3-year span, you probably need to go do something else. So I don't think we've got just any place where we say, man, we're just weak there. Now we're constantly trying to improve. But I feel good about our roster and our team.
Let's talk about Joshua Thomas for a second.
Yep.
We see him. Is he going to be coming in relief for Devontae Jackson? What's going to be his role on this team?
Well, right now he's competing for playing time. We're extremely talented at running back. LaMarcus is back and Devontae's back. They both had great years. Josh has come in and learned our system, is trying to learn our system. It's a very complicated system. And he obviously brings a lot to the table. He's a big physical guy that can make you miss. Had an outstanding career at Buford, had a good freshman year at Iowa State. He brings something different to the table. He's a bigger guy than what those other guys are. He's battled some sickness where he's missed some practices because of some illness, so he's a little bit behind from a scheme-wise. But, yeah, we anticipate Josh to be a contributor on this football team, and I think he's going to be a great player before he leaves here.
Coach, you lost a lot of talent on the offensive line,
yep.
but you also brought in a bunch of players there. Talk about that unit as a whole and how they've come together.
Well, we're excited about, number 1, Harley Vaughn at center, and number 2, Austin Castle at right tackle. Those guys are great leaders. They've really taken the bull by the horns from a leadership standpoint. We've got some young guys that have been in our program that have kind of grasped a hold of the rope. That is their turn to shine. With Quentin Stanford being a sophomore from Northside Warner Robins, Owen Painter's a sophomore from Grayson. They've really come on this fall camp and spring at guard. We think they've got a chance to be great players. Abed Nelson from South Gwinnett's really coming along. He'll also be a sophomore. Austin Hamilton from Grayson's also a sophomore. So we got some guys that have been in our program that now it's kind of their turn to get it done, and they've really done a great job. We brought in Kent Flowers as a transfer from Colin Community College in Mississippi under Glenn Davis, who does a phenomenal job down there. Kent's an extremely talented young guy that has got a bright future as well. So we think we're going to be good on the O-line, and we think we're going to be deep there. It's going to be some new faces. But it's guys that have been in our program for the most part and have a lot of talent.
Looking ahead to a conference matchup, how concerned are you with Florida Tech this season?
I'm concerned about them. They kicked our butt last year at their place, So that was a great job by them that day, and they took it to us. Really dominated us in the first half. That's on me as the head coach. That's later on in the year, so we'll have to assess that at the time when it comes. I think the conference is going to be extremely good, you know, and it always is. Our first conference game, I think, is Game 3. So we've got 2 defending conference champions before that. Catawba won their league, and Miles won their league in Game 2. So we'll be ready for it when the time comes.
Coach, can you talk about A.J. Leggett and if he'll get the chance to see some significant play time this Saturday?
Yeah, I think so. You know, we brought him in to do that. He was a really good player at Marshall. Set out last year, and he's coming along, learning our system. He's in a deep secondary where we've got a lot of talent. You know, and him and LaRonji Vason are both playing the rover spot right now, and they're battling every day. Some days AJ's starting, some days LaRonji's starting. LaRonji's going to get the start in this first game, and they're both former 3- and 4-star guys, you know, that are extremely talented at battle. They're both going to play a vital role in our kicking game as well, which is extremely important here, but I'm glad both of them play for us.
So is it safe to say that Candler is going to be the number 2 quarterback?
Yes.
Or is there a battle at
No battle. No battle. Will's the starter and Willie's the backup.
Right.
Yeah.
Could you explain the importance of the video coordinator, people like Nick Grosso are, to preparing the team for the upcoming season?
Nick does an absolutely phenomenal job. Yeah, he handles all the practice input, all the I mean, he coordinates everything we do from a filming standpoint all the way into, you know, getting it onto the deal. So all the preparation and planning that our coaches do and our players get to do would not be able to happen without Nick.
Coach, how do you feel about adding Carnell Williams to your coaching staff, and how do you feel like his NFL experience is going to bring your running game to the next level?
Carnell's doing a really good job. We're excited to have him. You know, obviously his playing experience is a huge asset to him and to our guys in that room, because there's a lot of talent in that room. Another thing that's great about Carnell is what an unselfish guy he was as a player. We talk about that with our team because we have a lot of talent. We talk about being unselfish. He's a guy that, you know, everybody knows shared the load with Ronnie Brown in college, and they were extremely unselfish, and they went undefeated and won a championship. So anytime you've got somebody that's been through that and can share those experiences, I think it only helps you. And I think he's been really good for our running backs, and I think he's got a chance to be a great football coach.
Coach, did you have to change your offense a little bit, transitioning from Dallas to Will Gardner?
Yeah, well, the offense, we have a humongous toolbox, you know, so it's kind of like, you know, when you got a big toolbox, if you're going to build a fence, you're going to use different tools than if you're, you know, laying down cement to build a driveway. And so we're different, but it's coming from the same toolbox. We're going to build it around our quarterback. Will's skill set is obviously different than Dallas's, so we'll be using a few different tools this year, but we didn't really have to change verbiage, terminology, come up with a bunch of new stuff and all that.
So with that, is it going to be safe to say you guys are going to utilize the passing game more this season with Will's experience?
Man, we'll have to see. You know, I think it depends on what teams want to make us do. You know what I mean? We try to be an NFL pro-style scheme. We're going to run the ball. I think you've got to be physical and run the ball to win a championship. And from there, we want to be able to do both. You know, and I think doing both is the ability to do what they're giving you at that time. And we're excited about our passing attack. We think our receivers, along with Brandon Walton and Alex Arma and Walter Hibbler and those guys at tight end, along with our backs and Will and Willie, we think gives us a chance to be very potent in the passing game. It's an area where we feel like we need to improve from an efficiency standpoint, but we got to see what we play, you know.
All right.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. Go Wolves.